All right, episode 5, or the 5th movie, which is Captain America, the First Avenger. This one's a personal fave of mine. Highly recommend. What you need to know about this: there is this box that glows blue. You don't know it at this point, but there's an Infinity Stone in it. It's called the Tesseract. This will play a bigger role in Infinity War. I'll explain that later. Basically, Nazis are getting control of this Tesseract and turning it into weapons of mass destruction. And there's a certain sect of Nazis called Hydra, who's led by this guy named Johann Schmidt, but you would just know him as the Red Skull because he peels his face off in one scene and you're like, what? And then it's just literally he's a Red Skull. Pretty iconic villain, very cool, but we gotta talk about my boy Captain America. I love Captain America. He is a 5'0" kid from Brooklyn who really wants to fight in the army but is just too weak. His body is too frail to enlist, so he gets turned down. Finally, an experiment is at a spot where it could work to turn somebody into a super soldier. The army doesn't want to do it, and if they do it, they want it to be somebody who's already a soldier, trained and whatnot. But the scientist finds Captain America, I want to say Chris Evans, that's who plays him, but finds Steve Rogers and realizes that his heart is of gold. He's a good person. And the thing about the super soldier serum is it tends to amplify its users not only physically, but also emotionally and personality-wise. So if you're a good person, whatever that means, you will get better. And if you're an evil person, then you'll tend to be more destructive and maybe more obsessive over bad things. Steve signs up for it and gets put into this chamber and is exposed to the same type of radiation that turns the Hulk into the Hulk. I should say Bruce Banner into the Hulk. But he has injected into him the super soldier serum, and the combination of the two turns him into a 6'4", 250-pound man called Captain America. And so he is at first a propaganda piece, but then eventually goes and fights and takes the fight to Hydra and releases a bunch of soldiers that were kidnapped. One of them is his friend Bucky that he grew up knowing. The thing you need to know about Bucky is that he dies in this movie. After he dies, he's like, okay, I gotta go take the fight to Red Skull. My best friend died. I'm really upset. Also, there's this girl named Peggy Carter. She's kind of cute. Literally has to take the fight to the Nazis, and he kind of wants a girlfriend, so he kind of has to figure out what he wants to do. But anyway, he takes the fight to Hydra, finds out that Red Skull was the first Captain America, but it went wrong. So kind of instead of Bruce Banner turning green to the Hulk, this guy stayed the same size, but he turned red. And he has the same powers as Captain America, which is like superhuman strength and can run really fast and has fast metabolism and stuff like that. So anyway, they duke it out on this bomber plane, and they're fighting for the Tesseract, and the Red Skull finally gets his hands on it, but it teleports him into the sky to never be seen again. Or will he? We'll talk about that later. Captain America realizes that the bomber that he's carrying is going to drop a bunch of bombs on America, so he does the sacrificial play and he crashes it into the Arctic somewhere. I don't know geography that well, so I don't know why he was going that way, but anyway, there's a bunch of ice, crashed it, and because the super soldier serum made him really powerful and live, he stayed frozen for 70 years and his body was still alive. They basically dry him out and get him back to life. Just in time for the Avengers film. So that's all up to date now. So we've had 2 Iron Men, the Incredible Hulk, Thor, and then Captain America. So now we have our big 4 for the team, and so the Avengers are finally assembled. So we'll talk to you about the Avengers tomorrow. Thanks.